everybody, how are you going? I hope that you had a really nice Christmas. I'm just gonna hop straight into this video because I don't know how long it's gonna be. There is a question that I receive a lot. Not really a question, but more a concern that comes in various personal forms and affects people differently depending on what stage of life which they are currently at, which I'll go into, but it revolves around having a career versus going traveling. Now, this is an issue I personally have not been struggling with because of my own decisions and my personal life circumstances, so I don't really feel qualified to give valid information on this topic. However, maybe because I'm not dealing with this concern at this point, people are wanting to know my opinions and my outlook on how I am so comfortable with this position. And so basically in this video, I'm going to be voicing my humble opinions and thoughts. I'll go through the different scenarios that you could be in, put myself in a hypothetical position, and go through with you what my thought process would be. And hopefully, even if you disagree with me, I can give you some ideas or inspiration. Now, both of the scenarios that I have, people have actually come to me with. So, scenario one, you have just finished uni, you really want to go traveling, however, you have just been offered your dream job. Now, obviously, there is no definitive answer to this, to travel or not to travel and start your career. But I think you need to look at the pros and cons of both outcomes and ask yourself a few questions. So, how easily did you get this job offer, and how difficult do you think it would be to find another job that's sort of on the same level? Essentially, how unique is this job experience? And then on the other hand, where are you wanting to travel? A lot of you would say at this point, I don't know, I just want to go. So tell me, why do you want to go? What is the purpose of your travels? Firstly, answering that question will help you decide where you want to go, but it will also help place traveling as a priority in your head. Where does it sit on your list of priorities of what you want to accomplish? And without any background information of knowing what you in particular have as answers to these questions, generally, in this scenario, I would 100% go traveling. If you're watching this video, you're clearly thinking about going traveling. And honestly, in my opinion, even if you're just thinking about it, you should go. Go wherever you want. Go somewhere you can make the most of being young and single with no liabilities and a disposable income. At this point, you're probably still living with your parents, so live with them, save up some money and head off on a trip. You've then got the whole of the time that you're on the trip to find a new job. And to be honest, whilst you're traveling, you may well discover new job opportunities, other things that you can do with your life that you hadn't even considered. You can go traveling, get it out of your system. It doesn't mean you can never go traveling again, but it does mean that you can get those highest things on your bucket list ticked off, which you'll be so proud of. Then you can start your career feeling somewhat accomplished. If you went straight into your career, yes, there's always the chance to go traveling a bit later, but you don't know when the opportunity is going to come up, and you'll be constantly just thinking, oh, what if, or oh, you know, like it'll just be constantly on your mind. And you know what they say, it's much better to live a life than oh wells than what ifs. Now, second scenario, a much more difficult one, especially for me to answer, but here we go. You are late 20s or maybe even early to mid 30s, and you've had a very traditional career route thus far. You hopped from education straight into career and you haven't had a chance to travel. Maybe going traveling hasn't even occurred to you, but you're at the point where you're like, right, I should probably start settling down at some point soon, but crap, I want to go traveling. But if I go traveling, it means that I have to quit my job. What am I gonna do with my nice house or apartment? And wait a second, am I too old to go traveling? So yes, this is a bit of a tricky situation. But first of all, you are never too old to go traveling. Maybe you might be too old to get a working holiday visa in Australia if you're over 30, but that's pretty much the only limitation. If you really wanna go somewhere and tick things off your bucket list and go have fun, you are never too old for that. But if you do think that you are too cool or over hanging out, drinking beers, having cool experiences with backpackers aged 18 to 35, then so be it. We don't want you here either. But you know, even if backpacking in particular isn't your thing, of course there are so many different types of travel that you can do. There are tour groups and types of accommodation for literally everyone. You just need to find a style of traveling that suits your personality and needs. So now what I would probably be thinking is, what would be the consequences if I were to quit my job? How easily would I be able to get another one? And I guess that depends on how good your job is now. Have you worked for years going up the ranks of a small company? You've gained quite a lot there, which is hard to get back. Or did you just apply for a job, get it, and that's the job that you're still in today? Because if that's the case, it shouldn't be too hard for you to find another job when you get back. And other options, have you heard of a sabbatical? If you are part of a larger company, they may well let you take a sabbatical, which is essentially an unpaid but extended period of time off. Like you can go for a whole year and then return to your exact same job and position afterwards. Explore your options, and if you can't do that, that's a really great compromise for someone in this situation. But to be honest, if you are going traveling or backpacking, it really does not need to be done all at once. You can go for a month or 6 weeks and still have that proper traveler lifestyle. So another compromise would be just to stack up all of your annual leave, take the longest trip that you can, and use your holidays to do that. So you don't have to sacrifice your career and you can still travel. I know so many people who have full-time jobs, but they still travel ridiculous amounts because that's exactly what they do. That's how they spend their holidays, and that's how they want to spend their holidays. They do have to make a compromise, but they make it work because it's a priority to them. Is it a priority to you? With regards to the living situation, again, you have to make a compromise if you want to go on a big trip. If you own a house, rent it out. If you rent a place, if you can't get a friend or someone to step in, let it go. You can find another one when you get back. Not always ideal, but if traveling is important to you, you will make the compromise and it will be worth it. But if your dilemma is just whether to bother going traveling at all, again, I'm going to guess by the fact that you're watching this video that you're definitely considering it, and in that case, absolutely yes, definitely you should. Go tick those things off your bucket list, especially the things that are best to do when you're young. You're in good health, you're fearless, you don't have any children. This is when you can have the blimmin' time of your life. Travel solo where no one judges you, you can do whatever you want and no one is going to stop you. And for anybody out there who is thinking about going traveling but just isn't sure because of a career or anything else, or maybe an opportunity has come up which allows you to travel a bit and you're like, ooh, should I do that? But you're unsure because you're like, oh, that would require a compromise, or I've never done that before, that's outside of my comfort zone, or that could present some future problems. Just go. You've thought about it, which means you want to do it, and you know that feeling is not going to go away. If you keep putting it off and off, you're not just going to one day go, oh, okay, yep, I don't want to go traveling anymore, I'm over it. That doesn't happen. You will always be wondering, what if? And it's going to bug you for the rest of your life. People on their deathbed do say the things that they regret the most are the things they didn't do. Downer, but true story. Don't let that be you. Even in the unlikely scenario that traveling does happen to go tits up for you and messes up a few things in your life, at least you can say, oh well, that happened, and you've learned from your mistake. You're not wondering anymore. You're not in the complete unknown, which is the worst. And well, this video has got a lot more philosophical than I intended, so on that note, I'm going to sign off. I hope you enjoyed this video, and in case you are still in denial about whether to go traveling or start your career, go traveling. I may be making one more video on my channel to go out this year, so keep an eye out for that one, and I will see you then. Bye!